Phones on silence.
Perfect, thank you. Good evening and welcome to the November 4th Zoning Board of Appeals hearing. My name is Corinne Doherty and I am the chair of the board. I will introduce the board members. To my far right is Jeff Sauer. To my right is Ken Scholes, our clerk. To our left is Ken Jarvinen, and to our far left is John Bowner. From the planning department, our planning director, Brian Zakelli, is here this evening as well. Before we start the hearing, I would request everybody silence any cell phone or any device. And just to give you an overview of our procedure, the clerk will read the summary of your case. You'll proceed to the microphone. Please provide a summary in any information or documentation that you have on your case. The board will ask questions. We will go out to the audience for additional questions and comments, and then the board will deliberate. Again, I guess we... Mr. Zakelli, we have no minutes for this evening, so I guess we can start with our first case.
Our first case is 48 North Putnam Street, zoned R1. Request a finding under Table 1 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to expand an existing non-conforming use as a personal training facility into the remainder of the building, where currently only half of the building is allowed to operate as a gym. The request is made by Ralph Gregorio, docket 24-5083.
Is anyone here on behalf of the applicant?
That is me. I believe Ralph's also in the parking lot too.
Okay.
Yeah, can you have him come to the mic?
Could you go up to the microphone and just introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name's Anthony Buccieri. So I have Built by Buccieri Private Fitness on 48 North Putnam. It's actually just was our 1-year anniversary. It was previously another facility as well called Epic Fitness. Ralph is the landlord. He should be coming in any minute now. So the facility was rented out to me as a personal training studio down in its private parking lot. We have 10 parking spots in the front, and then we have them onto the side as well. The garage is a 2-unit open space. It was rented to me as a facility for such, so we have parking. What I'm here to also is to introduce myself to some of the people in the neighborhood. Haven't really gotten a chance to meet some of them. When I moved into the facility, I wasn't aware of who was there, neighborhood, obviously coming to a new area. We were established in Woburn for 10 years prior, so I would take this opportunity also for this way, for anyone to have any questions or qualms, I have my cards as well for numbers. This way, I'd like to have a good relationship with those in the neighborhood, in the area who have not met me, for any issues that they might have. I understand there might have been an issue with parking on the street and such, and then this way we can have that squared away. I just want to be a tenant and do my business. I train all females in the area, provide a safe space for women of all ages to come and work out, some of them in the neighborhood as well. And then this way, this can be a working relationship with everybody. So if there's any problems, they can come to me directly. They don't need to call anybody to have anyone ticketed. The girls would be more than happy to move their vehicles. I think the biggest issue was that, or maybe some morning workouts, I believe, was an issue as well, which obviously the garage door could stay closed. But I'm more than willing to work with anyone and anything on any of the issues at hand. I don't see why there's anything we can't work out together. And if anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer them for anybody.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to begin by asking Mr. Zakelli if you could just give us a summary how this case came before us.
Sure. So this case came before as a zoning violation based upon a lot of development in the area. There happened to be a lot of people in the area due to the Maple Square development, and we noticed that 48 North Putnam, as part of a process that went through the ZBA previously, only had permission to do one bay when we looked into it. So we issued a letter explaining that the options that the owner of the building had, which were to either comply or apply to ZBA. And eventually they applied, and here they are.
Okay, great. I think most of the questions are for you, so
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to begin the board's questioning, and I'll start with you, Jeff.
I have no questions at this time, Madam. Thank you.
Ken?
So you were granted relief to use half the garage as your gym.
When I was leased out the facility, it was for the whole facility. When I had come in.
That
It was
the-
previously used as a full facility as well. I moved in November 1st of last year. The gym that was previously in there was doing the same as well.
So then that means that they were, they've been in violation most likely then since 2016, is my guess. We were in the area, we noticed it. But since the previous decision, which was in about 2016.
2016.
So what has happened between 2016 and 2024, I could not tell you. It seems likely that it was still potentially being rented out for storage, that's for sure. It's a question of when it stopped being rented out for storage.
So did you notice that there was signage when this gentleman moved in over both bays? Is that how you noticed it? Or did you see activity in both bays?
We didn't originally see activity in both when we walked by, we noticed a lot of cars, just straight up a lot of cars just around, and we're like, this is odd. And that's when we went, we didn't know that they could only operate in one. Then we looked at the decision because it just didn't make a lot of sense. And our intuition was correct.
Okay. Okay. Ken, any additional questions?
I'm actually, sorry, I'm just skimming through this 2016 decision. I mean, I don't really see anything in here that says they were allowed to use only half the facility.
It's in the decision.
It is in the decision.
I can bring it up.
What was that about the vehicles?
It's at the top.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
I know, I was reading the
looking at-
bottom, too.
I was looking at the bottom.
I can
Okay.
read it, Ken, if you want. Requesting for a finding to use
So,
half the
I
building.
guess my last question is, did you know about this 2016 decision to use only half the facility as a
I
gym?
did not. I signed my lease in August of last year, and I officially opened in November. The place was leased out to me as 2 bays, 3,000 square foot garage gym.
So the lease states that it's the whole building?
Yeah, so I had the whole building. I've talked to Ralph. But whatever needs to be done at this point, because my business is up and running, and whatever needs to go from there. But I wasn't aware, I was leased out the facility through
Okay.
the person, and I just signed what was there. That's what I was looking for.
I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. Ken?
So you said you had 10 parking spaces?
Yeah, so I have them in the front, and then I also have them in front of my bay doors, and then to the side.
Can you point out on
Yep,
the?
so behind this wall here,
Yep.
and then where that truck is, this is an older picture, it goes all the way back. So it goes all the way there, and there's lines made, and then spots cleared out. So that truck's not there, all the trees are gone, it goes all the way back to the back of the building. So I can fit more than 10.
Yeah, because when I pulled up too, I noticed there was some cars parked,
Yeah, so
along
a lot
that
of the
fence
cars will
line.
park here across the fence.
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
down. They'll park on the, down here, that's the tenant spot right there.
Okay,
And then what I have them do is they park in front of the garage doors, and then they park down in there. Because
So-
there's no through traffic, so once the class starts, the busiest class is 9 AM. So every day, 9 AM, there's a class, there's 20 people that do a class. And I'll have them, actually, this is Ralph right now, let me just, hello, Ralph? Hey, buddy, I'm inside right now. Yes, it's inside the senior center, Ralph. Yeah, the senior center.
Oh, he must have gone to town hall, I bet.
What's the street name?
Stone.
25
Stone
Stone.
Street.
25
Stone
Stone
Street.
Street.
Okay. He's gonna come, I think he went to City Hall. Yeah, so we have the parking along, so I have clients that park here.
Excuse me, can you speak into the microphone? We're being recorded.
So we have clients that park along the fence, and there's signage along the fence as well. I just put my logo in blacked out, so not a visual sight for anyone to see down. And then,
So on the other side of the fence, down,
and down there, there's spots that go all the way, it goes down into slope.
okay.
And there's lines now for parking spot, white lines, and then it goes all the way back to where that truck is on the side.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way down as well.
And you have signage on parking sign?
Parking sign there, and then there's a sign where that truck is now, there's a sign that says, please pull forward, goes all the way down. So the parking goes all the way down to the end of the road, and then there's a yellow sign that says, please pull forward.
Madam Chair, can I ask the planning director a
Yes.
question? So how many, Mr. Planning Chair, how many spaces do they need by, by law, by rule?
I believe it's only 8 that they're required.
Okay.
I have, so yeah, 8, only 8 are required according to the bylaw. However, it's difficult when, you might have a class of 20. Because those are generally, I don't know how many are really in the neighborhood where they could just walk or bike, but most of them are probably driving. That's certainly, I don't think you're fitting, you say you can fit 10 spaces?
I can fit more than 10. So like, because the parking lot's no through traffic or use, so we'll fill the whole in, because no one's coming in or out. So we'll fill in all the spots around the perimeter, and then they fill in the middle part where the garage bay doors are. The cars will come down, because it's only an hour class. It's not like a gym where it's members. So they're all by hour appointments. So after the hour, everyone in the 9 a.m. leaves. And then what I've been doing too as well after, it's because people in the neighborhood were calling about some of the girls parking across where the grass is over where the public works. And there's a signage, and some of the girls who are new or never been to the facility before would park, not really knowing, but just kind of leaving their cars. Sometimes they're a little bit nervous, so they park close to come. Now I have everyone parking where the free market is, over where the fish market is, that free 1 hour parking down on Cherry Street. So they'll do there and walk over. And for the summer, it's been pretty good. I haven't really had any issues with anyone getting called or anyone coming over since then. But now that we know about the free lot over there, they'll park, and since it's an hour, they're gone. By 10 a.m., everyone clears out. And that's the biggest class of the day. After that, it's just one-on-ones. And then at night, I'll do a 4, 5, and 6 o'clock class, and there's no more than really 10 people, so they'll fill in my lot, and there's really no issue after that. There's no real streets or anything like that too much.
So what is the biggest capacity class?
20 at 9 a.m.
20 at 9
Yeah.
9 a.m., okay.
And I don't do much more than that because it just wouldn't fit. So like in the bays, like I'd have like 10 and 10. Split
Yeah.
it off so they do base stations and such. If it gets too much, then they're not going to get the workout because it's only an hour. So they just circuit through and then they're over at 10.
Yep.
So the girls start filling in about 8:45 and then after that. The 5:30 a.m. class isn't as much fill, but by that time, a lot of the, no one's really around in the streets and such, so they'll pack in the parking lot and they're gone before most people wake up.
All right, I
Yeah.
have no other questions. Thanks.
John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I go to you, just over to the planning director, through you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Brian, so how do we delineate 8 spaces? I mean, this was given on a finding, is quite a bit of activity at this lot, right? I think it's a multifamily home, and then there's, if you could go back to that street view, there's also another garage on the other side. That's all part of the same address, is that correct? 48 North Putnam, I believe, is the house, the garage to the right, and this lower garage. So if you go in the back, yeah, that large house there in the blue, and the garage next to it, that's all 48 North Putnam. So I guess I'm trying to understand, where does 8 parking spots come from? Because obviously, the multifamily, and I don't know if that's a 2 or a 3 or 4, but a certain amount of parking spots would be required for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, their parking is not at all down here, though.
No, I understand that, but I guess maybe it's,
The 8 spaces are coming directly from the parking ratio for the zone that it's in. It's 400 gross square foot, 1 space per 400 gross square foot. I believe it's right
so
around.
because this is a 3,000 square foot garage, we're
Yeah,
saying 8
it's
spots.
just-
But
yeah.
I guess to me, this is a situation where the application here, clearly, and I'm sorry, forgive me, can you give me your name again?
Anthony
Yeah, last name?
Buccieri.
Buccieri, Mr. Buccieri here says he has classes with 20 participants, and I am envisioning, they don't carpool, so you're probably getting 20 separate vehicles. That sound about
give or
right?
take.
15, 20? So I just,
Yeah, but I mean, so there's
doesn't
no,
sound like the math works here for me, but,
he's not required, or in any case, they're required to do a certain amount of parking. There's no parking restrictions on the street, and there's free parking nearby. There's no reason that they would have to provide more. What it seems like they just need to do is manage the cars that are on there, so that however many spaces that are there can easily go in and out. It seems like that, I think, just that. But, just like any of the properties that are even closer to downtown that have let's say, a lower parking ratio or even a higher parking ratio, it's still going to be, they don't have to accommodate every single patron that they might have, like for a restaurant, because of public parking and street parking.
I see.
And we're in that specific spot here, where we're not in the middle of like a business park, for example, where there's no public parking. It's specifically for that business.
okay, that clears it up for me. So, Mr. Bucieri, I'm
Yeah.
going to treat this as, because I thought you were the original
No.
gym that just expanded, so now this is a new revelation that you're actually a new gym as of about a year ago.
A year ago.
And operating the entire garage. So could you tell me what are your hours of operation?
5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day.
And, Madam Chair, I guess, in reading through the old minutes, there was a lot of concern from the board at that time in 2016 about vehicles on the lot, which, through my site visit, still exist right now. So I would really think those are questions more for the owner, that I'd like to understand why those vehicles and, what is going on at this site, because to me, it's not just Mr. Bucieri's gym, it's a multifamily house, there's 2 different garages, there's multiple, what looks to me to be abandoned vehicles. So I really would like to hear from the owner for my additional questions.
Well, let me ask some questions of the
Yeah.
tenant, and then before we go out to the audience, we can bring the owner up to answer additional questions. So you said your first class in the morning is at 5:30?
Correct.
And is that a class, or is that just a
class.
personal training? And how many clients or students are in that class?
Max would be 20.
So you have 20 at 5:30 and then 20 again at 9?
Yep, max is-
Any classes in between?
No, one-on-ones after that.
Oh.
And for the rest of the day, one-on-ones until 4 p.m.
Until 4 PM, okay. If the class starts at 5:30, what time do people arrive?
About 5:20, 5:25.
Okay, and do they go into the bays? So they park their cars and they go into the garage bays?
They come right into the door, yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you have is the parking lot lit? At 5:30, it's still dark.
Yes, so there's, censored part, like right now, I don't know if they're still on there from now, but I put on motion sensor lights that are on the, solar lights that come on.
Okay.
And then they're on the outside, and then usually in the morning, that garage door, that first one there with the window is open with the lights on the inside.
Okay. Okay, do you open the bay doors, or do they go in the side door?
Either one, if the weather's nice, the bay door will be open. Like on a cold day like today, they'd go in that front door right there.
Okay. And is there, like a pass-through between the 2 bays, or is it all open?
It's all open,
Okay, all right, so it's basically one big facility now?
one big open facility.
Okay. Okay, and so then you have personal training classes, and then you start up with classes again at 4?
So 4, yeah.
Okay, but those have less students in it?
Yeah, there's only 10 people in each of those.
Okay.
Maybe
And-
even less depending on the day.
Okay, and then what about on the weekends?
Weekends is just Saturdays. So it's 7 to 11 on Saturdays, that's it. Back to back, 7, 8, 9, and 10 a.m.
Okay, and so
And that's a 15-person max.
okay. And so the light sensors must go on somewhere around 10 minutes to 7 on Saturday?
They're done solar, so for at night, as soon as it gets dark, it lights up. So whenever there's someone that comes into the lot, they're on the tops and the corners, So like it runs off the sunlight, and as soon as the sun goes away, it lights up.
Oh, so those lights are on all night long then?
Depends. If there's any movement, it will, and then there's also a camera on the front door that has a light on it, that's attributed like a ring camera. So
Okay.
any motion that comes in, they turn on. But I have to turn that on. So like when I closed for the night, when I left, it's on right now, so if anyone were to pull into the garage, the light in the front, on the front door would turn on.
Okay, okay. So, Mr. Zakelli, have we received any complaints about the lights going on?
No, not about, it had to do with early morning noise.
Okay. All right, so have you heard complaints?
Personally, no. I haven't had anyone come over and complain to me or any neighbors about noise.
Okay.
But what it was is that when I had talked previously, because there was another day, I've only had one officer come down, which was like about 2 weeks ago, right when the class started, which was a little weird because it hadn't even really started yet, and they came down and said they got a noise complaint at 5:30, which I understand. But I had said that in the summertime, the doors were open more, which I could understand that if there was noise. But I told them that from now on, I won't keep the garage doors open until at least 7 a.m.
Okay, so when they're talking about noise, is it music or is
It
it
was,
something
I
else?
believe it was more so about like people maybe running outside, or like the whistle from the class being outside, like the girls were running up the hill and through the street, like for a warm-up when the weather
Okay.
was nice. But that was more so summer, and I hadn't been told anyone like complained, so
Okay.
it wasn't more so like malicious as it was, oh, no one's complaining, so, but if someone were to speak up and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to sleep, by all means, it's just,
Okay, okay, so we might have to put some conditions on this.
Yeah,
As far as
absolutely.
timing and other things.
I have no problem keeping the music at a certain level, keeping the garage doors closed. I've done that since that officer came by and mentioned, in the mornings, I've kept the doors closed and the music lower for that reason.
Okay,
And then after that, there's nothing, the private classes, the music's not, it's just one person in the class, so it doesn't have to be loud, or
Okay.
any whistles or anything like that.
okay, all right. I think some of the board members have some questions
Sure.
for the building owner.
I have one more for.
Oh,
the,
okay, go ahead.
And are you the only employee, or are there
It's
multiple
just me.
employees?
Yeah, so I'm there all day.
So you run the classes?
Every class,
you-
every day, 14 hours a day.
Okay.
Just me. So if you ever need to get in contact, I'm there.
Okay. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Pleasure meeting all of you.
How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing great, Ralph. How are you?
How you doing? My name is Ralph Giangregorio. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay, the board has some questions for you. So what, John, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, so, forgive me if I don't get your last name correct. G. Gregario?
Giangregorio.
John Gregario.
That's Italian.
How to call you Ralph? How about that?
That's why I named my business 3Gs.
Okay, Mr. 3G. When I look through the minutes from the decision back in 2016, when this was first allowed for a finding
Yep.
to rent out half the garage for a fitness center, there was a lot of discussion at that time about the motor vehicles that were on the site. So I guess I'm just trying to understand, because I went by the site back a few weeks ago. To me, there still seems like there's a number of vehicles in certain state of, I guess, repair. I'm not sure if that's the best way to say it, but not just with this garage. I'm talking more up by the
The garage
three-family.
on the side,
Yep,
that's the bottom tenant. They got a right of way to go back there. And that little garage, they operate, the fakes and everything. My other garage up there, it's an HVAC guy, which he goes in there, bends stuff and leaves.
yeah,
You
but
don't
there's,
do-
there's also motor vehicles out in the parking lot, so I guess, if I could just go back, Madam Chair.
Yeah, mostly the motor vehicle you see during the day, they're from that side. And all the motor vehicles you see on this side, those are the people that live in the house, but they're all working during the day. It's all empty over there.
So, Madam Chair, if I could go to Brian.
Yes.
So Brian, is this other garage also like listed as a business? I mean, how we have HVAC business going on out of that garage, which is associated with this address? Or is that a revelation?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I did not, yeah. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong there, but I did not look into that.
Well, All right, so that answers my question. I mean, this seems like there's, like I said, Madam Chair, just, maybe this is more for comments.
Yeah,
but
a
it
lot
seems
of
like there's
vehicles
a lot going on
During
on
the
this
day,
site.
sometime, the guy that rents a garage up top, he calls me up, he says, who's all those vehicles that belongs to the house, the White House?
But there's no zoning relief on that other garage to operate a business in it, to my knowledge, right?
No, but before used to be a motorcycle guy in there fixing motorcycle. Now, I don't know what they're doing. I never see the garage door open, but it's always a lot of cars in the parking lot over there.
But that garage is your property, yes?
No,
It's not.
no. That little garage is on my property. The way the land goes, it's an easement, and then it goes to my garage. I got about, I think it's 6 feet next to my garage.
Can you zoom in,
there.
Brian, on that?
I think,
Almost up to his garage. I own this, they got an easement to come in here.
Oh, yeah, I understand that part, but you own the multifamily, yes?
Yes,
Okay. And then, isn't there a second garage right next to the multifamily?
where were we now?
no. You can't see from because of the trees.
Yeah, right here.
Here.
I
That-
own this garage,
That's what I'm talking about, that garage.
right there.
Yep.
But this guy is in there maybe 2 hours a day, if that.
But it sounds to me that that's another business, yes, that you rent out?
No.
So what happens in that garage?
He does duct work. He's an HVAC guy.
All right, I think we're talking in circles here. Okay, no further questions.
I mean, he's been in there about 11 years.
Ken, do you have any questions?
No, Mr. Bucieri had answered them all. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So Ralph, when this 2016 decision was made, I was on the board for that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it, but apparently it says that you're to use half of the building
Yes.
as a personal
I
training.
I was doing that, and I was renting out the other side. I was up there 2-3 times a week. He's parking in front of my door. He's making noise. Oh, this guy, the trainer goes, I need it quiet. You know, I'm training people. I need peace and quiet. That guy's banging out there. Then I got a welder in there. Oh, I smell fumes. I said, oh, my God. So that's when I decided to take the wall down and stay with one person. I mean, I'm making less money, but right now I got a great kid. I go up there, I never have no issue, nobody's ever called me for anything.
Okay, well, when Anthony signed a lease with you,
Yeah.
he was under the impression he can use the whole building as a gym, and that's what
Yes.
he's doing right now.
Yes,
He's not allowed to do that, according to this decision.
I know.
So you
And
know
that's why we're
that's
here
why you're in
tonight.
violation.
That's why we're here tonight, try to get the permit to do the whole thing. I mean, right now, even the place is much cleaner. The alleyway was trash. Who put the trash there? I didn't do it. He didn't do it. So the only guy pick it up was me. Now I'm getting too old to play that game, you know?
Okay, I don't have any further questions.
Jeff?
I don't have any further questions. Thank you, madam.
I have a couple questions, but they're for the planning director. So, from the conversation that we've had, that White House to the right has an easement or a right-of-way over the driveway, and it's the cars for both of those buildings that are kind of blocking the way over there? Am I understanding that correctly?
Here, let me,
No, right here. That's where the tennis park. Right there.
Right, but the tenants that park there, they're for your building, correct? Okay, I thought you said that the people for,
Is
like,
it-
the building that's next to it, that they were parking there
This
too.
guy over here.
He's got a
goes
garage
around,
around the back, too.
And during the day, it's full back there all the time.
But it's his people.
His people.
Okay.
yeah.
It's got nothing to do with me on that.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm just trying to understand why, it's so crowded
Yeah,
back there.
because I got an easement, they got no way to get back there.
Yeah,
So they go through my property.
okay, I see. So there is like an easement or a right-of-way that allows them to,
Yeah.
cross over like your driveway to get to the back of their
Yeah.
property. Okay. Any comments or questions from members of the audience? Yes, please come up to
Come
the
on up,
microphone.
identify yourself.
Hello, I'm Dave Trask, I live in the neighborhood,
What's your address?
44 North Putnam Street.
Thank you.
So, I'm just wondering if this was supposed to be half the space since 2016, in violation ever since, what's the solution? Obviously, the only thing I care about is noise. I go to work at 3 in the morning, so 5:30 doesn't bother me, it's the wife and the kids and all the other neighbors I gotta listen to. And the cars. The parking has been better. Obviously, it's open parking, it's, legal parking all over the neighborhood. It has been better lately, but, yeah, just wondering what the solution is. If we're just gonna sign a whatever to make it, yeah, we can use the whole space, or what the answer is.
Well, we'll discuss it, and we'll see about putting some qualifiers on it and some conditions with regard to noise and parking and to kind of, I guess, address the concerns of people in the neighborhood.
And Madam Chair, if I may, so you're right, they came in 2016, he's in violation, he's here asking to correct that. So
Right.
that's why we're having this discussion.
I don't want
It's basically reopened, he's asking for the whole space
I don't
now.
want the correction to just be absolved and everyone just keep doing what they're doing.
Well, that's,
I'm
yeah,
not saying that's what you guys want either.
yeah.
And it's nothing against the operator, he came in under the pretense that this is.
Well, that's
the
why
whole-
we like to hear from the neighbors, you guys give
Yes.
us a better picture of what's going on.
Yeah, and maybe I should have gone down there a year ago, I'm sorry I didn't. It's just,
May I introduce myself?
yeah, up there.
If you don't mind, I don't mean to cut in. I did have an idea.
You come to the microphone,
yeah.
though?
I don't mean to cut them off. I was thinking if we could do something in order for the neighbors, along that fence, which overlooks, if maybe there was a way to do like a 1-hour parking from like 7 to 5 against that fence right there, looking down, then at least those spots would be open in those hours for my clients, and they wouldn't be more inept to maybe park in front of someone's house or down the street more. In between that, the lot and the free lot, I think it could have, it could work a little bit better. I mean, obviously, if it's during the week or if the hours have to be adjusted, but I figure if there was like a 1-hour parking sign for a certain amount of time, just along that fence, if we put up, even if it doesn't even have to just be for my gym, if it just says 1-hour parking for a certain amount of time, it might help, because my classes are only an hour, sessions are an hour, people move in and out, and if say someone comes home the night before, parks their car, leaves, that takes 1-2 spots up. I know I had an issue with, there was a truck that was parked there for like 7 months, and like, it takes up like 2 spots, and maybe that's when the girls come, and then they might park in front, and the last thing I want is a problem with a neighbor, and they park in front of the house, because they might never have been to the gym before, and obviously, I'm not in the place to make that decision, it was just something I kind of thought of.
I don't think we are
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't think we
Madam
are.
Chair,
floated
that
out
would be
there.
a matter for the
Yeah,
parking
that-
board, that's
Okay.
not for us.
I'm sorry, I didn't know who, but just something I thought of looking at the fence.
Yes, yes.
So, the most you could do in terms of the ZBA having the power to do something along those lines in terms of changing street
Recommendation or
parking,
something? Yeah.
You could make them apply. You could make them apply.
As a condition?
To the
As a
select board.
condition?
That's the most you could do.
Yeah.
It's something, I don't know how, well, anyone, it's, yeah, but that's probably the ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what you're saying is that, like, that's a public way, so that is town property, and they would have the ability to put in, like, 1-hour parking
The
restrictions?
select board, so it would have a review by the
Danvers
DTEC,
Traffic
the
Committee.
Danvers
Yeah.
Traffic Advisory.
Yeah.
And then eventually, then there would be a recommendation from them to the select board, and it's the select board that would actually change the parking on that street.
Okay,
But you could just, yeah, again, the condition could be applied to DTEC for eventual, something towards the select board. But those are the two steps.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I,
Excuse me, Mr. Gian Gregorio, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
He
you
is,
pronounce it good. The part in the front, up on
Yes.
the fence, it was nothing but a weed farm. I know how I chopped it about 7, 8 years ago. which
Okay.
It cleaned everything up, which it creates more parking for everybody.
yes, it does.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other comments or questions from the audience? Mr. Sekeli, did we receive any letters from any abutters?
No, it was not recently, quite a while ago, about the two concerns that we've talked about this evening in the form of telephone calls,
Okay.
which were parking concerns and noise concerns.
Okay. Okay.
I actually have one more question for
Okay.
for the gym owner. Would you be willing to take as a condition, any classes prior to 7 AM, no doors open, no music playing?
I can keep the music at a minimum.
Because the
Absolutely.
town ordinance for noise starts at 7 AM.
Yeah, absolutely. I even told the officer when he came by, I've been, in the last week or so, keeping the doors completely closed and the music at a minimum on the inside from that first class
Just for
until
that
7
first
a.m.
class.
Yeah, till 7 a.m. So,
Till 7.
absolutely, I completely understand on that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will deliberate now. So first off is Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I don't have a problem with allowing the applicant to expand the business. I'm a little vague on the parking, though. It would be really nice if we had a parking plan, a plan of the property showing the tenants where they park, showing the spaces where the gym applicant, or the gym, users park. I'm really not happy with just saying, oh, we park the cars in here and everything fits. So I'm not against expanding the business with the conditions of the lights and the noise and the doors and all that. But I would hesitate to vote yes now unless I really saw where the parking spaces were delineated for, like I said, the tenants of the property and the people using the gym.
Okay.
So I'm a yes with reservations, or yes with, stipulations.
Okay. Ken?
I'm okay with them expanding the gym. I mean, there was another business next to the gym anyways, so he's using the whole building. I know he's not supposed to, but if we can do it with the conditions prior to 7 AM with the quiet time, I'm okay with it. I'll vote for it.
Okay. Ken?
Yeah, I'm in favor of expanding it as well. I think Mr. Bucieri is more than willing to work with the neighbors and make a good solution here, so I'm for it.
John?
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not against the expansion of the gym. However, the owner himself mentioned the property and the cleanup of it and the maintenance of it. That is not the job of this board. It's the property owner's job. I'm also hearing another business running out of another garage. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable, as Jeff stated, without having a parking plan. There's just too much going on this site. And when I look back to the decision in 2016, it was the same madness going on then. So I'm a no. I don't, and without a parking plan and without some, I mean, he's only before us because basically they got caught. So I'm not going to sign on board for this, so I'm a no.
Okay, so you don't have the votes. I am also in the camp that I'm fine with expanding the business, but we have to figure out what's going on
I'm
for the
actually-
entire property.
That's why I came back up
Wait,
here.
wait,
In
just
the
let me-
back of the building, I was storing a dump truck, which are gonna go clean all that out of there, which you'll have his own private parking spot. Now they can park cars in the alley because people leave at the same time, come in at the same time, but park one behind another, they can back out. So
Okay.
that'll increase the parking.
Okay, but I think probably the best suggestion right now is that we continue it, and we ask you to provide us with the parking plan, because we have pretty much agreed that we have no problem with the gym expanding with the conditions, you know,
Do you got a shot on the side of the building?
But we want you to provide us with a plan, just showing us, because it's not, your property, it's not just parking for the gym, it's parking for the residents, and it's also the other business. So what we want you to provide us is a plan for your property and show us where all the parking is going to be and what is designated for parking for the gym, parking for the residents, parking for the other business, and it might even be in your best interest if we mark it. Like, these are the spaces for the gym, these are the parking for the residents, because the residents shouldn't come home at the end of the day and
Oh,
have their
no.
parking spaces taken by someone
Oh,
for the
hey,
gym.
That hasn't, after I told him, that never happened.
Okay, all right, but I do think we need a parking plan.
Yeah,
So
I
again,
can supply you with a parking plan.
okay, so
I think
what,
we can probably, no exaggeration, we can get maybe 8 and plus 7, we can get 8 cars in the alleyway.
all right, well, why don't we continue this? We'll take a motion, we'll continue to the next meeting that you're comfortable supplying us with the plan beforehand. And then, again, it seems like the board's okay with the gym expanding to the 2 bays. It's more so just putting the right conditions on it, but also making sure that we have a parking plan for the whole property. So
Yep.
it's not just the gym, we're concerned about those residents and also
The
the other
residents, they
business.
all said, they don't interfere with them. It's one park right next door, she's
Yeah.
always got a spot up top, they get their own spot. He's been
Okay.
a great kid.
Okay, no, we're sure he's been a great tenant.
And
But
what I'll
again,
do,
we
the next
have
meeting,
concern
I'll
with the
come
whole
up-
property.
I'll come up and, like I said, the cars are gonna be parking the alleyway, they'll be back to back, but you can get so many cars off.
Okay.
because The good idea is whoever comes first is gonna leave last, but they all leave at the same time, so they can back out and go home.
Okay, well,
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to continue this to November 18th if the applicant's willing to take that date.
Very quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, very quick. I think we just need to make very clear, are you talking about a stamped by a PE plan? Are you, or just so, or they, because that might not, that 2 weeks might not nearly, you might not do that. So what exactly, what type of plan are you talking about?
You want just a hand sketch?
I think he kind of needs someone to prepare the plan.
That's probably not going to happen in 2 weeks.
So should we put it off for the next one? When is the
Well,
first one in?
I think 2 weeks is unreasonable. I would,
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. When is the next one in December?
December 2nd.
the first Monday in December.
Okay,
And I wouldn't be here for that next meeting anyway, so if he wanted a full board,
You could vote, you can't go in remotely?
no.
Okay,
I'm going to be in Aruba.
okay. Yeah, you shouldn't do that
Aruba
then.
in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to go.
So Madam Chair, through you, is December,
don't you?
is December 2nd enough time for the
Well,
applicant?
if not, that at least gives them a shot, and if we have to continue it past then, that's fine. I just know that in
Yeah.
2 weeks, like, it's
That's
not
not enough
time. Yeah, I
happening,
get it.
so just why do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to push it off to December 16th?
I mean, whatever it is, I mean,
Well, it's up to
if
the
you're
applicant.
requiring a
It's not up to
plan to
us.
be stamped by a professional engineer, that's gonna take longer than 2 weeks.
okay. Mr. Giangregorio, could you go back up to the microphone, please? Okay, we're gonna make a motion, we're going to continue this. You have to have a stamped plan for the parking on, on your property with all the parking delineated.
I will work with whatever consultant they
Right.
work
So-
with, yeah.
So Mr. Zakelli will help you with that process, but our question to you is, we can continue it to the December 2nd meeting, but if you think you need a little more time, we can continue it to December 16th?
Yes, that's the other date.
So which one do you prefer?
Why not take December 16th?
Okay,
16.
yeah, okay, so.
Madam Chair, I'll
December
make a
16th.
motion that we continue this case until December 16th.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we will see you with your plan on December 16th.
And Madam Chair, just a reminder, we'll need that plan to the Planning Department by Thursday, December 12th.
Okay, so you need it by December 12th, but.
That's
why-
so it can be handed out to this board for review.
Okay.
Correct, and why don't you contact Mr. Zakelli in the morning, and he can kind of go over all of this with you, and then he can work with whoever you want to prepare the plan.
Okay.
And that way, we'll
In
make
other
sure that
words,
we have
you
everything.
want a sketch where the building is, how long is the alleyway, how many parking you can have over there, right?
Well,
whole
we.
site.
Right, we want a professional to prepare it, because they're going to have to, they're actually going to have to prepare it based on the square footage and what the requirements are for each parking space. We can't just have like a drawn sketch.
Okay.
Need a
So-
professional to do it.
Yes, you need a professional to do it. So again, contact Mr. Zakelli in the morning, and he'll give you the specifics.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, the next case.
The next case is 41 Hobart Street. This is zoned R1. Request a special permit under Section 30.2.d to allow for the conversion of the existing single-family home constructed circa 1900 into 2 dwelling units. Request is made by 41 Hobart Street LLC, Nancy McCann Esquire, docket 24-5085.
Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the owner of the property and the applicant, 41 Hobart Street LLC. With me tonight is Carissa Vita. She is the manager and one of the owners under the LLC. Also with me remotely is Mike Becker, who is a manager and member of the LLC, and Dan Ricciarelli, who is the project architect.
Good.
The property is located at 41 Hobart Street, which is on the corner of Hobart and Pickering Street, diagonally across from the YMCA property, and it's located in the R1 zoning district. The lot, again, is a corner lot. It contains 8,060 square feet with an existing dwelling that is located on the property and was constructed in about 1900. Mr. Zakelli, could you put up the photos of the existing building, please? You have submitted with your application photos of the existing structure.
Yep, just a sec.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
This is the existing structure facing Hobart Street, and you also have photographs in your package of the side elevation facing Pickering Street. The property is in rather poor condition. The applicants have purchased the property and are proposing to renovate it per this application. The existing structure itself, however, has a number of structural situations associated with it, as well as some upgrades that are necessary for code compliance, including, and I've been advised by the applicant, the first floor height inside the building is only 80 inches. That's about 6.5 feet. Standard first floor height is about 8 feet. The stairs within the structure going from floor to floor do not meet code compliance for riser height and step width, and new wiring is going to be required throughout. So there's a number of other conditions as well that affect this, this older property. As you can tell from the side elevation, Mr. Zacchelli, if you have the side elevation facing Pickering Street, while we have a rather consistent first floor, the second floor has a number of, there we go, dormers and jagged roof line on that back section of the property. And the applicant proposes to upgrade and renovate the structure so that they can keep the 1900s structure itself and maintain that historic structure, but bring it up to code and maintain the residential character, while providing one additional modest new dwelling unit. And you have plans of the proposed renovations as well as floor plans. The plans provided clarify perhaps better than what my narrative did with regard to what is being proposed. Given the jagged dormers and a variety of the roofline bump outs, what's really happening here is that the first floor is being raised on the interior so that it meets code compliance for an 8-foot ceilings for the first floor. And then the second floor, because we do have an existing second floor, that's being raised up a bit more to accommodate the first floor as well as the second floor. And then we're proposing to add a third floor onto the structure. So we're raising the roof line and filling in this rear section where we have all these various dormers and jut outs on the rear section of the building. All of this is proposed to take place within the existing footprint. So the footprint of the structure is not being expanded, but rather we're proposing to go up about 1.5 stories. On the interior of the structure, the first floor will be converted under this conversion application to a kitchen and a living room for Unit 1 and a kitchen and a living room for Unit 2, and you do have floor plans with the application. The second floor will have the master bedroom and bathrooms, a full bath for the master bedroom and another bath as well, and the third floor will have 2 bedrooms. So the end result of this conversion will be 2 units with 3 bedrooms each. These are modern and modest family-style units, and they're family units. They've got 3 bedrooms, so unlike some conversions that we see downtown where we have 2 units and 2 bedrooms, these have 3 bedrooms, so they're suitable for a family. The dimensional and density requirements for a conversion are all met. With regard to setbacks, we're grandfathered, but the density requirements are all met as indicated in the application. And importantly, we have almost 2.5 times, or almost 2 times, I should say, the required area for this conversion. A conversion, as you know, requires 2,500 square feet per dwelling unit, and we have over 4,000 square feet per dwelling unit. Do you have the plot plan, please? As the plot plan shows in the application, we have a narrow lot, but it's a very long lot, which provides a, whoops, that's upside down, provides a good backyard area, which is a nice play area, and also provides the required parking spaces. The backyard, providing the play space is important here, as well as the proximity, again, for family housing, the proximity to the YMCA, certainly within very easy walking distance for the residents. There are no new access points on the dwelling necessary. There's a front access and a rear access already existing, so we don't need any new access points. And the existing curb cut is suitable and satisfactory. We don't need any change to the curb cuts. So really, this is an existing, again, 1900s structure, which allows it to apply for the conversion special permit, and this is a special permit. We do meet all the dimensional and density requirements, having significantly more than the required area. There's no footprint increase. There's no changes in the egresses. No additional egresses are required. We have this is the side Pickering Street elevation. I will note the elevation on the other side of the building. We will not have windows. That is in close proximity to the abutting property as an existing condition, and there will not be windows along that side, which provides some privacy. Given the significant poor conditions, I will say, and non-code compliant conditions of the existing structure, financially, in order to retain this structure and not seek a demolition permit through the Preservation Commission, but rather to retain this structure and just renovate it, it is a significant financial investment. And in order to make that viable, creating a second unit is not only needed in the neighborhood and needed for housing purposes, but also needed to make this a financially viable project. This 2 units within this structure in this neighborhood. This is a neighborhood consisting of single families as well as duplexes. There's a duplex across the street on the other side of Pickering and diagonally across on Hobart. There's also multifamily development of 15 units just down the street on the other side of Hobart Street. So this is a mixed neighborhood with singles, duplexes, and multis. By raising the building up as we're proposing and as the plans show, we are still meeting the height requirement in the R1 zoning district. The height of the building will be under 30 feet in height. So again, we are meeting the dimensional and density requirements. I've outlined in the application, I'll go through those if you wish, but the general conditions for a special permit have been met by this application. And we've also provided an additional housing unit downtown, but also maintaining the exterior appearance of the building is not going to be substantially changed. By raising the building up, it's still maintaining a residential in nature style of the building, and that does meet the requirements for the special permit. The applicant did meet with neighbors in the area, and I do have a petition signed by 15 different neighbors, primarily along Pickering and Hobart Street, that I'd like to submit for the record. And I believe at this point that concludes my my presentation. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, we have the applicant owners here, the architect is here, and I am here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Before I go to the other board members, thank you. I just have a question about preservation. This is going to need preservation approval, correct?
Not unless we apply for a demolition permit, so I don't believe so. We're not demolishing the building.
I know, but even if you're going up?
I don't believe that triggers. If it does trigger, well, because the bylaw's kind of been changed more recently,
Yeah.
but it's the demolition permit itself, and I don't believe we will require a demolition permit. This is going to be a renovation.
Okay, because someone, I want to say it was on Main Street, was kind of changing,
High Street, yeah.
well, High Street, and they had to go in front for something, actually.
They added dormers. I think,
Right,
yeah.
actually, it wasn't as extensive as this, so that's why I'm thinking that you might have to get preservation approval for this project.
Yep. If we do, we will under the updated regulations in that regard, but typically if we don't need a demolition permit, we don't need to do that, but I'll look into that.
Okay. Did you speak to Aaron about that?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I would speak directly to Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, which I can, and if they hit that, I mean, so that's in the general bylaw, if they hit that, then they'll go through it.
Right, and again, I just know that sometimes it doesn't seem as if it would, but yet it does, and, you know, it can hold up a project if the approval isn't granted at the time when it should be. So, with that said, I will begin with John.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Attorney McCann, can you tell me the square footage of each unit?
Square footage of each unit is approximately 1,200 square feet.
And I'm kind of surprised at this one, but no bathroom on the first floor?
No bathroom on the first floor.
And the Pickering Street elevation, and I did go by and visit this site. I do agree, it's tired. But I guess when I look at this two-family, 3-bedroom, 4 families, I'm not clear, is there a sidewalk on the right side of Pickering Street as you go down towards the Y, or is it only on the left-hand side? So, meaning where the retaining wall here is, is there a sidewalk here?
Yeah, I think there is.
There is.
There is, okay, because
And I just want to say that, I think you said 4-family. This is
No, 2-family,
2 units.
two units,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
3-bedroom, 2 units. Yeah, that would just, a concern of mine, because, you know, if it is going to be children walking, I know we've had some bad accidents at that 4-way intersection there, so that's the extent of my questions. Thank you.
Ken?
I have no questions. Thanks.
Ken?
Attorney McCann answered pretty much all my questions. Do you have any idea who maintains that wall? Does the town maintain that wall?
I believe the town recently, or, fairly
Renovated it.
recently, rebuilt that wall.
And they put the sign on there, right? No climbing?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So the
I believe it's
residents,
maintained by the
the
town.
owners don't have to maintain that?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, okay, thank you. No other questions.
Including the fence that's on top of it, like the town maintains all of that?
I do not know the answer about the fence.
Okay. Okay,
If it's over 30 inches, there needs to be a fence there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you'd
a
want the
pretty,
It's
it's a
It's
pretty
pretty
big
high.
drop.
Get hurt falling off of
Yeah.
that.
Kenny, you all done?
Yes, thanks.
Jeff?
Attorney McCann, can you speak of any affordability components to this project?
I think these units are designed, they're small enough, they are going to meet the intent of affordability, perhaps better than the actual affordability range. As I've had this discussion many times with the Affordable Housing Committee, Danvers is in the Boston district for housing, and affordable housing in Danvers under the requirements of the Boston district for housing are often higher than what the market rate units will be. These are small 1,200 square foot units, so they will be, as a practical matter, affordable, as opposed to just meeting a criteria which makes them even not affordable from a
But-
practical
But you
standpoint.
haven't talked to the Affordable Housing Trust or made a donation or
No, we're
have
not.
anything committed for this?
One to two does.
Yeah, we don't have-
specifically
I know, I'm just
doesn't,
asking.
yeah.
No, okay.
No,
Thank you. That's all I have.
we're providing what we would contend that we are actually providing real, practical, affordable housing.
I'm all set.
I just have a couple questions. I also noticed that the floor plan, there's no bathroom on the first floor, and there's 2 on the second floor, and then none on the third floor.
That is correct.
So, and there are 3 bedrooms for each unit.
Correct.
And are these going to be condos, like individual ownership, or will it be an apartment, like a
That's
two-unit
typically
apartment?
market-driven. Carissa, do you have an intent at the moment whether these will be apartment or sold as condos?
Yeah, please come up to the,
I Hi, everyone. I'm Carissa Vitas, a co-owner with Michael Becker here. I think that's a question that Mike and I will answer as we get down the road, as the units are finished and complete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever give any thought to seeking demolition and maybe, I don't know, like moving the property back?
We did, but I think, given the neighborhood and given the homes around the neighborhood, we felt that this was the best option from a historic standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
sure.
Any other questions from
If
the
I can
board?
add to
I have
that,
one more.
Ken?
So back to the, so on the second floor, there's a master bathroom, and then one unit has a master bathroom and another bathroom, and then the other one has a master bathroom and a bathroom. It looks like you missed a toilet on the second bathroom.
You think we have a bathroom with no toilet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so.
I mean, it looks
Our
like it.
architect is here, and perhaps he could speak to that, because I think that is definitely not the intent.
Okay.
Dan, you want to?
No, that is not the intent. Dan Ricciarelli, Seeger Architects. Plans I'm looking at do have toilets in all the bathrooms, but
Well,
if there's a mistake, I apologize.
Well, I see three toilets on the second floor, and it should be, I mean, I thought, so I see a bathroom, not the
Oh, I
master.
see.
But there's no,
At the plan, upper right of on the second floor, it says bath, but it doesn't have a toilet picture.
yeah, I mean, not that it really
I
matters.
apologize. It is in the most recent set. We can submit a new set to the board for record.
There will be a toilet there.
Well,
Yeah,
Ken's
I don't
right.
think
Yeah, of
it's
course.
necessary to, yeah.
Nothing's
An
really,
empty bath.
nothing's really delineated in that one.
Right.
And I assume they'll mirror one another, so whatever is in that other, like that second bathroom on the other side will be on the other side, right? So they'll mirror each other like the other floors do, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's right.
I have a couple.
John?
Yeah. Brian, could you go back to that Pickering Street elevation? And while Brian's doing that, Attorney McCann, so for the most part, are we going to kind of just keep the inner walls standing and the outside of this will be stripped down? Or how will this
No, there's
renovation
significant
happen?
interior renovations that are going to happen, even to address one of my first points, which is that the existing first floor height doesn't meet code at only 6.5 feet.
Yeah, no, I understand
So that's
that.
going to have to all get raised up.
Yeah, so just walk me through those. So how does that happen? Do we literally, like, kind of almost tear the whole building down except for a wall?
I'm going to ask Dan to speak to that,
Right,
if he
this-
can, our architect. It would be an extensive interior renovation,
Brian, can you bring
but
up
the
this?
method of
Yeah,
how
currently
that's
right now-
constructed? Go ahead.
Yep, sorry about that, Nancy. Dan Ricciarelli, Seeger Architects. This may be better for Mike, he's the builder, but currently, all the floor framing is severely undersized for today's code. We will be raising it up, so most of the walls, if not all, in the interior, need to be either modified or removed. So keeping the exterior walls as much as we can with their plates, and then going up on top of the house. And again, we're holding that edge of the street because historically that's generally what the what gives the street its character. So that's why we initially did not move the house back, because we felt that was really important to hold that edge in the front on Hobart. So I hope that answered your question, but until we really get into it and demolition starts, on these interior partitions, it's safe to say that most, if not all, will be removed on the inside to facilitate the new ceiling heights required by code.
Brian, could you bring up this? The question I had was just trying to understand what this, I guess, they look like maybe back porches or something, not the other one, Pickering Street. Yeah, in the back left there. What is that?
That's the rear entrance to the to this rear unit. So the front
Up
unit,
above, though.
Those are just bay windows.
those are bay windows.
Bay windows, okay.
Okay.
I did not see those on the floor plan. I guess they're not shown on the floor plan?
The windows,
That's actually a cantilevered section on the second and third floors. The farmer's porch is basically replacing the existing farmer's porch as an entry for that unit to the rear on Pickering. And it'll be extending the whole length of the building and then blending into that cantilevered bay up above. It's not a bay window
The
per se,
cantilevered bay
it's a cantilevered
is
section.
part of the second floor?
Correct.
I just, it's not lining up with this, so.
The cantilever bay sticks out from the second floor, and then it's split into two bay windows on the third floor plan.
It shows on, right there,
Oh, okay.
John,
Yep, I
he's
see
pointing
it.
it
So,
out right
yeah.
here.
The second floor.
See that bump out at the
Yeah,
top?
I see it now. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
No.
Anyone from the audience?
Hi, my name is Richard Mello. I'm the abutter on the right-hand side of this monstrosity house,
And what is your address?
39 Hobart Street. My
Okay.
wife Kathleen and I have been there over 47 years. And I saw the plans with Mike today, and they look pretty good. We had a few things to discuss about. The gambrel on the second floor, I'm concerned about. He's telling me it's going to be perfect, but I'm looking at snow sitting up on top there. Now, I have a picture of the house from my driveway. The house is 4 feet from my driveway. It has a flat roof, and if they go with a gambrel, and this is a 22-foot height house, and if they go another floor height, and that is up there another 10 feet, that gambrel, and it piles up with the snow, it's gonna, in the snow, the sun hits it, it's gonna slide off, damage vehicles, hit somebody, or, you know, I won't be able to park there. And also, if you look at the plans of the house, I didn't discuss this with Mike, is there's only one way in the house in the front and one way in the house in the back. So if the people are in the house and the fire, how do the people get out of the house? There's no back entrance for the people in the front to get out, and no front entrance for the back people to get out.
Well, they would have to comply with code. Maybe the architect can discuss that. What are the two egresses?
Right now?
Yeah, this will be a single egress unit with with sprinklers. That's what allows for the single egress per code.
Okay, what he's saying is they have to put sprinklers in the whole building because there's only one egress. So
Really? And
That's
that's
right, then your
allowed?
residential
yeah, so
sprinkler
that would be
system.
up to
Okay.
code.
I didn't believe that, but okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think of asking Mike that today, but can I submit this?
You can submit it to us.
This is my driveway, and the house is 4 feet from my house, from my driveway. And this is a flat roof, sorry, that's a flat roof on my side, on the top, which has been great. And if you look at the new plans, the gambrel, it's still, I don't know how many feet that slope is gonna be. But I don't care if it's 2 inches or 14 feet. Any part of snow piles up there, and Mike disagreed with me today, and I kind of like shrugged it off, says whatever. And even on their side, on their driveway side, it's gonna have the same effect. You know, anybody drives in the driveway and parks right there and goes up the back porch, and the sun hits it in the afternoon, the sun's on their side of the house, and it starts melting the snow, bingo, it's dangerous.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You can address that.
That gambrel's steep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's not
ask the architect to address that, because this is a style that is a rather common home style, so this can't be the first situation where this concern, and it's a legitimate concern, is being raised. So perhaps Dan, or maybe Mike, but perhaps Dan can speak to any snow issues that might occur with this type of style.
Yeah, I mean, generally what we've done is, I'm sorry, Danvers Zoning Board Architects, is we've introduced either snow fence, some snow and ice guards to prevent that, because it is close proximity to the driveway on the right, on Hobart, or some heating elements at the eave under the roof itself, just to keep the snow and ice from piling up. So there are options for that.
Okay,
And we
Mike,
would,
do you want to talk to that?
yes.
No, that's a satisfactory answer to me.
yeah, we could certainly take a condition that any concern about the snow and ice falling will be addressed, and there are a number of ways to do it. As Dan has just said, the snow and ice guards that I'm sure you've all seen, or simple heating elements can deal with that as well along the edges.
Okay.
Thank you.
One other question. I see that you have the 4 parking spaces kind of along the property line. Did the architect or the property owner, did you give any thought to any other, like, parking configuration?
Mike?
Michael, you want to speak to that?
Dan?
The backyard is paved, and from what Rick told me earlier today, the town of Danvers actually did that paving job when they installed that retaining wall, and they took some portion of the land, they put the fence up and all the rest of that. That asphalt is in really good condition, and it's a lot of asphalt for the size of this property. So I would be reluctant to add additional asphalt in areas that could be, yard or landscape areas for what would be, family unit. I think there's plenty of parking with the existing asphalt. I think it's about 50 feet from the house to the edge of the asphalt.
So the driveway exists now, it comes in, and this area where we're showing the parking spaces is already asphalt and done, and then the landscaped area, as Mike explained it to me today, the rest of the backyard will be landscaped for a backyard recreation play area.
Okay. Okay, and Attorney McCann, as part of our bylaw, there are two conditions with regard to these conversion. One is that the proposed addition is like not a substantial change to the exterior, and also that it remains residential in nature. So I think we can all see how it's still residential in nature. Can you address the other condition and how this project would comply with that?
Yes, that it's not a substantial change. Currently, the structure is about 1.5 stories, 2 stories, existing facing Hobart Street, and we're just raising that to make it 3, 2.5, essentially 2.5 stories. We're meeting the height requirement, so we're going up a little bit further. But it's not a substantial change, as I demonstrated with the photographs facing Pickering Street. The rear of this property has very odd dormers and jutting coming out. We're simply filling that in with regard to the second floor. And so the second floor already exists, and we're just filling in that back area. We're not increasing the footprint. And then we're going up to make a usable, modest third floor. So we're not increasing the footprint. We're not coming any closer to the lot lines. We're not coming forward. We don't feel that this is a substantial change to the exterior. It's still a home that is going to remain and keep the streetscape as it has now, trying to preserve the style of this 1900s building as it has been.
Okay, because usually our conversion projects, like the outside remains almost identical to what it was before. So this is a little out of character for that type of a conversion.
Yeah, but I think it's still not a substantial change. The bylaw has allowed aside from other exterior changes, changes and additions of egress points. We don't need to do that here. We have our egress points. Those are not changing. Curb cut is not changing. Parking area is not changing. Driveway isn't changing. So we don't think this is a substantial change, and it is certainly retaining its residential character and nature.
And I also think, obviously, the ceiling height, the original ceiling height, does kind of muddy the waters, because you're going to have to fix that.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. We started with John.
I got more
Oh,
public
we have
comment.
another question, I'm sorry.
My name is Bruce Sweeter. I live at 33 Hobart Street, and one of my concerns is the foundation. If you've been out there and looked and walk around, the foundation is really in bad shape. And I don't think it can hold another floor, you know, and the extra weight. I think the foundation needs to be looked at. I don't know if anybody's looked at that yet, but
Okay.
that's my concern.
Attorney McKeon, maybe one of the other professionals can address that?
Madam Chair, could we ask if that neighbor's
sorry.
in favor or not in favor?
Are you in favor or not? Could you go back? Sorry.
No, I'm not in favor of it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, part of any...
Yeah, to the chair.
Oh, okay, Dan, if you
Go
want
ahead,
to speak
Nancy,
to it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, David Torelli, Seeger Architects, and I think Michael has already done some legwork on this, but there will be a structural engineer involved with the reconstruction and any repairs that need to happen to the foundation to support another level. And we also have a geotechnical person who will be looking at soils, but I don't think the house has seen any real settlement. I think it's a very robust foundation, but it does have some areas, obviously, which need to be repaired, and they will be. And there'll be a structural engineer's stamp on that.
Okay, thank you. Also, also Attorney McKeon, the town civil engineer looked at this project, and he did state that the town will require a stormwater and water and sewer permit, just so that you know about that.
Absolutely, and that has been passed down to the applicant. The applicant is aware.
Okay, all right, perfect. Any other questions from the audience? Any other comments? Okay, off to John.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think if the applicant's willing to take a condition to address the neighbor's concerns on the potential for snow fall onto his driveway or property, I feel like this could be a nice upgrade. I find where the footprint of the house is pretty much staying the same, but the height is changing. I don't see this as super detrimental. I think this would be a nice improvement, so I would vote in favor.
Ken?
I also think I would vote for this. I think it's, the way it looks now, and the improvements will be good. It'll update it and add a unit to the city, town, so that's good.
Ken?
And I would vote for this. As you can see, this building looks very tired and is in dire need of some TLC. So I would vote for this as proposed.
And finally, Jeff?
Yeah, I will vote for this. I agree with my other members. It's a property that really needs to be upgraded.
I would also vote for this, but I agree with John. We need to put that condition in with regard to, did you call it snow guards?
Snow and ice guard or heating elements, something that will address...
Can we call it snow and ice management on the right side of the property?
On the roof? Yeah,
On the roof?
sure.
That sounds really good.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion on 41 Hobart Street, docket number 24-5085. This motion is for a special permit under section 30.2.d to allow for the conversion of an existing single-family home constructed circa 1900 into 2 dwelling units, and that the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts on the town or neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in the relation to that site, with a condition that snow and ice roof management be addressed on the right side of the building as
will
it
second
abuts
that.
to 39 Hobart Street?
Yep.
That's my motion.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank
It
you very much.
passes.
Good luck.
Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you.
No minutes this evening. We'll have two sets
Discuss
next
anything
time.
else?
Okay.
Motion to
So will we
adjourn?
have them for the next meeting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
And I will
Wait a
second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Good night, Danvers.